Hey, I'm Mr. Brian Sasso, and in this video, we are going to do lesson 4, dividing decimals from the Math Fundamentals for the HSPT workbook. If you want to get the workbook to follow along, click the link in the description below. All right, let's get started. So, dividing decimals, here we go. When there is a decimal in the divisor, that is the number on the outside, we move the decimal to the right, the number of places needed to make the number a whole number. Then we move the decimal in the dividend, the number inside, the same number of places to the right. We then place the decimal on the line immediately and proceed with our long division. So let me just show you here in this example one. I'm not going to do the whole problem, but I want to show the decimal movement because that is really important, probably the most important thing with dividing decimals. Now, just as another little trick here for remembering divisor and dividend, I can never get this down. The dividend is going to be D-I-V-I-D-E-N-D is going to be the one at the end when you're writing out your long division, and the divisor is going to be the number on the outside. So sometimes those terms are easy to get mixed up, but that's a nice trick to help you out there to remember that. All right, so we have a decimal in our divisor, so that means we need to move it to the right, the number of places needed to make it a whole number. What I like to do is just with my pencil, actually show how many places you're moving it over. Then we find the decimal in the dividend, and that's going to be right there before that first 6, and we're going to move it over the same number of places. So again, I like to just show that with my pencil. I think that's good practice to get into. So the decimal's between the two 6s, and then we want to just put that up on the line right away, and then we would proceed with our long division. Let me show you the second example here. Now, sometimes on the HSPT, they might have the problem written out like this, 7.5 divided by 1.5. So this is 7.5 divided by 1.5. That's how we'd write it. Now, again, here, we just need to move over the decimal one place in our divisor. We go to the dividend, the number inside, the number at the end, and we move that over one place as well. So it's going to be after the 5. We can put that number up. And now essentially this is just 75 divided by 15. We will, looks like we won't have any decimal places after that even to do. So, all right, let's look at note 1 here, and then we'll do a practice problem together. If there is no decimal in the dividend, the number inside, the number at the end, remember that the decimal is understood at the end of the number. So in practice number 1 here, let's do this one, and let me rewrite it here. Let me do 18 divided by 2.4. So 2.4 is our divisor, and we do need to move that over one place to the right to make it a whole number. And then we go to the dividend. If there is no decimal, in this case, it is at the end of the number. So the 18, the decimal is going to be after the 8 there. We actually learned this in a previous lesson, right? So this is coming back now that we need to know this. And then we move it over one place to the right from there. So there we go. Now we're going to add a 0 here as a placeholder. We're going to put our decimal after the 0. We're going to put that decimal up right away. And now we can go ahead and divide. So 24 doesn't go into 18. So we don't have to put a 0 or anything there. That's fine. How many times does 24 go into 180? Okay, well, 25 goes into 175 about 5 times. So let's try that. So 5 times 4 is 20. Carry the 2. 5 times 2 is 10. 11, 12. Oh, nope. So we're going to be able to go even more than this, right? I said 7 times, didn't I? So, all right. 25 goes into 175 about 7 times. So my mistake. All right, let's try this again. 7 times 4 is 28. Carry the 2. 7 times 2 is 14, 15, 16. This is looking right so far. So we're going to borrow from this 8 here. That becomes a 7. This 0 becomes a 10. 10 minus 8 is 2. 7 minus 6 is 1. So we have a remainder of 12 here, which is less than 24. So that's good. That's what we're looking for. And now, when you're doing the division with decimals, what you end up doing is you can just add another 0 or as many zeros as you need. You bring them down, right? And here, there's 120. So we saw that earlier. That's 5 times, right? So there we go. So 5 times 4 is 20. Carry the 2. 5 times 2 is 10 plus 2 is 12. So this ends up even after that. So our final answer is 7.5. I know this dividing with decimals can be can be tedious. We're used to using calculators. Remember, you cannot use a calculator in the HSPT. So brushing up on this kind of work by hand is going to be really, really important. So our motto, hard work pays off, grind through these practice problems with me here. Make sure you can do them by hand. That's going to be really, really important. All right, let's go to the next page here. A couple more notes that we need to talk about. So note 2, if there is no decimal in the divisor, number on the outside, we do not move the decimal place in the dividend. We simply put the decimal on the line and proceed with our long division. So let's look at practice 2. We have 2.4 divided by 12. Okay, so in cases like this, remember the divisor is number on the outside, so 12. The dividend is 2.4, the number at the end, the dividend. Very easy, right? We just put up the decimal, put it up on the line, and then we do our division. So 12 goes into 24 2 times, and we want to line that 2 up over the 4, right? 2 times 2 is 4, 2 times 1 is 2, and that's it. That's our answer. Now we can make this 0.2. That's fine. We'll just add a 0 there as a placeholder, but pretty simple, right? Okay, let's read note 3 together. If the dividend is smaller than the divisor, if the number on the inside is smaller than the number on the outside, what do? Well, we put a decimal point at the end of the dividend, add a 0, and put the decimal on the line. Then we proceed with our long division, and we will add zeros as needed. So let's look at practice 3 here. So 1 divided by 8. Okay, so 1 divided by 8 looks like this. So the dividend, the 1, is smaller than 8. So whenever we have this situation, all we need to do, remember the decimal's at the end of the number, talked about that a few times already. We just place it up, put it up on the line, and then we're going to add zeros here, right? So let's see. We might need a few here. So 8 into 10. Okay, that's 1 time. 8 times 1 is 8. 10 minus 8 is 2. Let's add another 0 here. Bring that down. 8 goes into 20 how many times? 2 times. I'm going to line that up over that second 0. 2 times 8 is 16. 20 minus 16 is 4. And let's bring down, add one more 0 and bring it down. And 8 goes into 40 evenly 5 times. So we are done. 1 divided by 8 is 0.125. And this is going to help us when we need to change fractions to a decimal, right? So 1/8 is the same as 1 divided by 8, which is the work we just did. So 1/8 is the same as 0.125. Okay, let's do some practice. So dividing decimals, here we go. Solve all the problems. Solve the following problems, and we're going to show all of our work, of course. Okay, so number 1, and I'll write these a little bit bigger, I think, so we can just see them a little bit better. So we have 0.46 divided by 0.2. Okay, so the divisor, the number on the outside, we have to move over the decimal 1 place to the right to make it a whole number. The decimals before the 4 in our dividend, we move that over 1 place. Actually, I'm going to move this 6 over just a little bit so I can squeeze in the decimal. There we go. And let's put the decimal up in the line. And now we can do our division, right? So 2 goes into 4 2 times evenly. 4 minus 4 is 0. Let's bring down the 6. And 2 goes into 6 3 times evenly. 2 times 3 is 6. So there we go. 2.3. So pretty easy as long as you're moving the decimal correctly before you begin your division. All right. Number 2, we have 96 divided by 0.8. Okay, so again, we just need to move it over 1 place. So far, we've just been moving over the decimal 1 place each time. It looks like coming up here, we'll be moving it more, but easy enough so far. Okay, now here's a case where our dividend, the number at the end, the number inside, does not have a decimal, so it's understood at the end of the number, right? So it's going to be after the 6 there. So I'm going to write that in with my pencil, move it over 1 place, show that you're doing that. Add a 0 as a placeholder, and then the decimal goes right there. Then we're going to put it up on the line, and we can do our division. So let's see. 8 goes into 9 1 time, right? So let's start there. 8 times 1 is 8. 9 minus 8 is 1. Bring down the 6 here. 8 goes into 16 2 times evenly. 16 minus 16 is 0. And then whenever you have a case like this where you have another 0, well, 8 goes into 0 0 times. So we just want to write that in there, and we're done. The answer is 120, and you can just drop the decimal point in your answer, right? Okay, let's do number 3. All right, this is going to be hard work. Hard work pays off, so let's keep going here. 2.5, or 35 divided by 2.5. Okay, So 35. Maybe I'll just try to do this one here right on the page here, right on the problem. So we move it over one place, show that with your pencil, and same thing here. So 35, the decimal place is understood after the 5. Let's move that over one place, add a 0 as a placeholder, put that decimal up in the line, and now we can divide. So 25 goes into 35 one time. 35 minus 25 is 10. Let's bring down this 0 here and 100. How many times does 25 go into 100? 4 times, right? 4 times evenly. And again, we are done, and our answer is 14. And again, we're just going to drop the decimal there. All right, number 4, we have 2.4. Let me write this one a little bit bigger here. We have 2.4 divided by 0.12. I'll just drop that 0 before the 1 there. Okay, now here's a case where we need to move over the decimal 2 places, right? So we'd go 1, 2, show that with our pencil. Decimal in the dividend, the 2.4 is in between the 2 and the 4. Now we need to move that over the same number of places, 1, 2. So the decimals here, we do need to add a 0 as a placeholder, and then always just put that decimal up on the line right away. Okay, 12 goes into 24 2 times evenly. And 12 goes into 0 times. So we just add a 0 there. And then, this is going to be 20.0. But as I've said, 20.0 is the same as 20. So we're just going to leave our answer like that. All right. So far, not too bad, right? These are pretty easy. Okay, let's keep going. 8.2. Let me write this one a little bit bigger too. 8.2 divided by 0.04. Okay, same thing here. The divisor, number on the outside, has 2 decimal places, right? We need to move that over to the right 2 places to make it a whole number. Decimal in the dividend, the number inside is between the 8 and the 2. We move that over the same number of places, 2 places, put the decimal there, add a 0 as a placeholder, put the decimal up on the line, and let's go ahead and divide. So 4 goes into 8 2 times evenly. 2 times 2 is, or 4 times 2 is 8, okay? We bring down the 2. Now, 4 does not go into 2, right? So what do we need to do here? Well, we're going to put a 0 there, and then we're going to bring down this 0, and 4 does go into 20 evenly 5 times, right? So then we line up that 5 over that 0 there, and that's our answer. We're done. 205. So a little bit, something a little new there that we want to be able to do. All right. Number 6, ooh, a lot of decimal places here. All right, let's write it out first. So we have 1.8694 divided by 0.2. 0.2, but I'm just going to drop the 0. Okay, pretty straightforward. Move it over one place. We do the same thing every time, right? In the divisor, the number outside, it's 0.2. Move it over one place. And then here, the decimals between the 1 and 8. We'll move it over the same number of places, and it's going to be between the 8 and the 6. And we're going to put that up on the line right away. That's something really important to do here. Okay, so 2 does not go into 1, but I'm not going to put a 0 there. Well, let's just start with 2 going into 18 9 times, right? So 2 times 9, 18. And you do want to make sure that 9 is before the decimal point, right? So make sure you're nice and lined up there. Okay. 18 minus 18 is 0. Let's bring down the 6. 2 does go into 6 evenly 3 times. 2 times 3 is 6. Okay, so far so good. 9. Okay, how many times does 2 go into 9? Well, it would go in 4 times. 2 times 4 is 8. 9 minus 8 is 1. And let's bring down that last 4 here. And 2 goes into 14 evenly 7 times. 2 times 7 is 14. So there we go. Final answer, 9.347 for that one. So, pretty easy. Again, tedious, but pretty easy as long as we're being careful and doing everything correctly. Okay, here's another one, number 7. All right, let's do it right here. 0.3564 divided by 0.04. Okay, now this time we have to move over the decimal 2 places. There we go, 1, 2. Decimals before the 3 there, we move it to the right, same number of places, 1, 2. So it's going to be between the 5 and the 6 there. Between the 5 and the 6. Okay, So let's begin. 4 doesn't go into 3, but it does go into 35. Let's see, that would be 4 times 9 is 36, so I guess it's going to be 8, right? 4 times 8 is 32. 35 minus 32 is 3. Well, let's bring down this 6, and 4 goes into 36 9 times evenly. So 4 times 9 is 36. That's going to be a 0. We bring down the 4, and then 4 goes into 4 one time evenly, and looks good. Final answer is 8.91. All right, 7 divided by 8. Okay. Now again, if you had a fraction, 7/8, that's the same as 7 divided by 8, right? So sometimes in the HSPT, we need to change a fraction to a decimal. This is how we do it. This is why this skill is so important. Okay, so 7 divided by 8. So here we go. Our dividend, our number at the end, the 7, is smaller than the divisor, the 8. So what do? Well, we simply add a decimal, put it up on the line, and then we need to add some zeros here. And I am going to erase some of this work here just so I have room for this problem. So it looks like I'm going to need some space. Okay. 8 into 70. Well, 8 times 8 is 64. I think that gets the job done there. 8 times 8 is 64. Okay. 70 minus 64 is 6. We're going to add a 0. So this is what you do here. You keep adding zeros. So add a 0, bring it down. 8 goes into 67 times. And 8 times 7, that is 56, right? 8 times 7 is 56. 60 minus 56 is going to be a 4. And then we add one more 0, bring it down. And hey, 8 goes into 40 evenly 5 times. So it looks like we're done here. 8 times 5 is 40. And final answer, 0.875. All right, kind of running out of room here, but we'll squeeze it in. All right, 2 more here on this page. 9.2 divided by 4. Okay, 9.2 divided by 4. Now here's a case. The divisor, the number on the outside, the 4, does not have any decimal places in it. So what do? Well, we just put the decimal up on the line and then do our division. So we're just going to put it up right away. 4 goes into 9 2 times. 4 times 2 is 8. 9 minus 8 is 1. Bring down the 2. And 4 goes into 12 3 times evenly. 4 times 3 is 12. And that's it. So pretty easy one there, 2.3. In our last one, all right, 264.61 divided by 4.7. Oh boy. All right, let's try. Let's give this one a go here. So first things first, decimal places. We got to get them in the right place. Move that over one place in the divisor. The dividend, we're going to move that over one place there. It's going to be between the 6 and the 1. Let's put it up on the line right away, and let's do some division. Let's do some dividing. All right, 47. We're going to have to start with the 264. Okay. So again, in situations like this, it's always good to kind of approximate, right? So I would say, well, 50 goes into 250 about 5 times. So let's start with 5, and let's see if that's going to work out for us. So 5 times 7 is 35. And carry the 3. 5 times 4 is 20. And plus 3 is 23. Okay. Looks like this should work. Okay. We do need to borrow here from the 6, right? That becomes a 5. And this 4 becomes a 14. 14 minus 5 is 9. 5 minus 3 is 2. And 29 is less than 47. So that means we did this right. Okay. Now we bring down the 6. And we can see yeah, it's probably going to be, 235 plus 47. Probably going to be one more. So let's do a 6 here. Okay. 6 times 7 is 42. Or I always do 7 times 6, 42. 6 times 7, 40. I don't know. Okay, whatever. 7 times 6 is 42. Carry the 4. 6 times 4, that is going to be 24. Plus 4 is 28. So yeah, looks good. And 6 minus 2 is 4. 9 minus 8 is 1. And 2 minus 2 is 0. We don't need to write that in. And our last one here, I'm going to bring down the 1. All right. Should go in evenly here. Looks like it's going to be about a 3, right? I'm running out of room here. Let me see. What can I do? I'm going to have to shift this all over. Okay. Let me grab all this. Move it right over here for us. Okay, there we go. All right. Okay, 3 times, and let me erase this too so I don't get confused. All right, 3 times 7 is 21, carry the 2. 3 times 4 is 12, plus 2 is 14. So, yep, that gets us done. So, 56.3. Wowzers. That one was a challenging one. And I would say it's okay to go a little bit slower on these just to make sure you're doing everything right the first time. All right. So I told you this is going to be a long lesson, right? Let's go to the next page here. We have a few more problems. Now, this is going to mix up multiplying and dividing decimals. Again, I know this is tedious work, but it is so important for doing well on the HSPT. I really can't stress that enough. So you want to make sure that you're really comfortable doing this work. All right. So directions, solve the following problems, show all our work. All right, let's do it. Kind of a mixture here. So 8.63 times 4.2. Now remember, with the multiplication of decimals, we're just lining them up all the way to the right. Okay, so we're not lining up the decimals here, just lining them up all the way over to the right. Then we're going to multiply it out. So 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times 6 is 12. Carry the 1. 2 times 8 is 16 plus 1 is 17. And then our placeholder, right? And I said in that lesson on multiplying decimals, use an X as a placeholder. I think it's the best thing to do so you don't make any mistakes. Okay, so 4 times 3, that's 12. Carry the 1. 4 times 6 is 24. Plus 1 is 25. Carry the 2. And 4 times 8 is 32. Plus 2 is 34. Okay. Let's add these up. 6, 2 and 2 is 4. 7 plus 5 is 12. Carry the 1. 4, 5, 6, and 3. Now at the very end, remember, you count up the number of decimal places. 1, 2, 3. And I actually like to show with my pencil, right? Okay, let me count them up. And then in our answer, we go from right to left the same number of places. So we start here after this last 6, and we move it over 3 places. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so 36.246. Man, these are tedious, aren't they? Okay, that's okay. Once we're done with this, we're going to move on to the next subject. So, all right, 9.76 times 45.8. Oh boy. All right. Let's do it. We'll slow down, just make sure we're doing things right. So we only have to do it one time. We don't have to redo it. Okay. So let's start with the 8. 8 times 6 is 48. Carry the 4. 8 times 7 is 56. Plus 4, 56. Plus 4 is 60, isn't it? Okay. Carry the 6. 8 times 9 is 72. Plus 6 is 78. Okay, there we go. That's our first one. Next is the 5. Okay. 5 times 6 is 30. Carry the 3. 5 times 7 is 35, 36, 37, 38. Carry the 3. 5 times 9 is 45, 46, 47, 48. Okay, erase these. Now we need 2 placeholders. And again, this is why it's nice to use X's, because you know exactly which ones your placeholders are. Okay, now we multiply out the 4. 4 times 6, 24. 4 times 7 is 28, 29, 30. Carry the 3. And 4 times 9 is 36, 37, 38, 39. Okay, now we add these all up. Oops. Undo that. And add these all up. So we have 8, 0. 8 plus 8 is 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Carry the 2. 8 plus 2 is 10, plus 7 is 17. Carry the 1. 9 plus 1 is 10, plus 4 is 14. Carry the 1. And 3 plus 1 is 4. Okay. And then we add up our decimals. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So 447.008. All right, next we're going to do some division. Next few. All right, so 21.08 divided by 6.2. Okay. So move over the decimal in our divisor 1 place. In our dividend, we move that over the same number of places, 1 place. The decimal is between the 0 and the 8. We put that up, and we're ready to go. So 62, how many times does 62 go into 210? Probably about 3, right? 60 times 3 is 180. So let's start there. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 6 is 18. And let's borrow from this. That becomes a 0. This 0 becomes a 10. 10 minus 6 is 4. Borrow from this 2. That becomes a 1. This becomes a 10. 10 minus 8 is 2. And 1 minus 1 is 0. Okay, looks good. Did that right. Let's bring down the 8 and 248. How many times does 62 go into 248? About 4 times, right? 60 times 4 is 240. So 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 6 is 24. There we go. Not too bad there. 3.4 for that one. All right, number 4, we have 68.9 divided by 1.3. Same thing, we just need to move it over one place there, one place there. Oops. And essentially this just is going to be 689 divided by 13. If we move after moving the decimals. Okay, so 13 goes into 68. Let's see, about how many times? Is it 4? 4 times 3 is 12, carry the 1. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 1 is 5. Oh, I think we can do, that's going to be 16, right? Okay, so we can go in 5 times. And if that ever happens to you, that's all you need to do. Just go, okay, erase everything, start with the 5. 5 times 3 is 15, carry the 1. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 1 is 6. So there we go. So 68 minus 65 is 3. Bring down the 9. And 13 goes into 39 3 times evenly. 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 1 is 3. And there we go. 53. All right, number 5. Let's review what we need to do here. 6 divided by 15. So the 6, the dividend there is smaller than the divisor, the 15. All we need to do, put a decimal, put it up on the line, and add some zeros. And actually, we just need 1 0, right? Because 15 goes into 60 4 times. Oh, my pencil's freaking out there. All right, 4 times evenly, right? 4 times 5 is 20, carry the 2. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 2 is 6. So our answer for this one is 0.4 or 0.4. All right, a few more to do. We're almost done. 3 divided by 8, same thing as the last problem, right? And again, this is if we needed to change 3/8 to a decimal, this is how we do it, 3 divided by 8. So we simply put the decimal after the 3, put it up on the line, and let's add some zeros. Here we'll need to do a few. 8 goes into 30 3 times, right? 8 times 3 is 24. 30 minus 24 is 6. Let's add a 0, bring it down. 8 goes into 67 times. 8 times 7 is 56. And 60 minus 56 is 4. And add a 0, bring it down. 8 goes into 45 times evenly. So there we go, 0.375. I know some people actually memorize their 8s. There will be other fractions that you will want to memorize what they are as decimals for the HSPT. But if you're ever not sure how to change a fraction to a decimal, this is it. So it's a really important skill. All right. Next, we have multiplication. 72 times 0.03. All right, this is an easy one. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 7 is 21. Count up our decimal places, 1, 2. And move it over in our answer. By the way, you don't have to multiply out this 0. You're done after this, and then just move the decimals, 1, 2. 2.16. Pretty easy. I like that one. All right, next one here, 11.52. 11.52 divided by 2.4. Okay, so most important thing, making sure you're moving the decimal correctly. Move it over one place there, one place here, between the 5 and the 2. Put it up on the line, and let's begin. 24 goes into 115, probably 4 times, right? Maybe 5? Let me try 4. 4 times 4 is 16, carry the 1. 4 times 2 is 8, plus 1 is 9. What does that leave us with? I think it is going to be 5, right? No, 4. Okay, it's going to be 4. All right. Did I do that right? Okay, good. Let's subtract here. I do need to borrow from this. 15. 15 minus 6 is 9. 10 minus 9 is 1. Okay, good. 19, less than 24. We did that one right. All right, bring down the 2. And 24 goes into 192. Oh, wow. 8 times probably. Let's see if I did that right. 8 times 4 is 32. Carry the 3. 8 times 2 is 16, 17, 18, 19. Aha, got it. So answer here is 4.8. It is easier to multiply than divide, isn't it? That's the truth. All right. Next one here, number 9. I think I'm gonna erase some of this work here to give me some room. Okay. 14.3 times 22.4. Well, this is going to be another pretty tedious one, but only 2 more to go. So let's do it. 4 times 3 is 12. Carry the 1. 4 times 4 is 16. Plus 1 is 17. Okay. Carry the 1. 4 times 1 is 4. Plus 1 is 5. And then our first placeholder, let's erase these. Now we'll multiply out the 2. 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 2 is 1. That's not too bad. 2 placeholders, and same thing. 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 2 is 2. Excuse me. 2 times 1 is 2. And now we add them up. 2. 7 plus 6, that is 13. Carry the 1. Let's see. 5 plus 1 is 6. Plus 6 is 12. Plus 8 is 20. Carry the 2, and then 8 plus 2 is 10, plus 2 is 12, carry the 1, and 2 plus 1 is 3. And how many decimal places? Our last step here, 1, 2, 1, 2 on our answer. So 320.32. Okay, and our last problem here, if you're with me still, I'm proud of you. All right, let's do it. 0.1404 divided by 0.12. Okay, so first step, move our decimal in the divisor 2 places to the right to make it a whole number. Our decimal in the dividend, the number inside is before the 1 there. We move that over the same number of places. It's between the 4 and the 0. Put it up on the line, and let's finish this page off. Okay, 12 goes into 14 1 time. And 14 minus 12 is 2. We bring down this 0 here. 12 goes into 20 just 1 time, right? 20 minus 12 is 8. Bring down that last 4 here. And, oh, that should be a 4. Okay. And then 12 goes into 84. Well, let's see. 5 times 12 is 60. And this is 24 more. So 5, 6, 7. 7 times 2 is 14. Carry the 1. 7 times 1 is 7. Plus 1 is 8. There we go. We did it. 1.17. Final answer. All right. Great work. I'll see you in the next lesson.